All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Catch the Beat World Cup 2015 continued coverage. Today we're going to be doing our recap of the stage, I do believe semifinal stage last week, as we move into the grand finals. And just a little bit of a note, remember the map pool that we'll be going over at the end of this is going to act for the finals and the grand finals, so there will not be a change in map pool. I am joined with my fellow commentators, Tasha and Deadbeat. How are you guys doing?
Yar, matey, I'm doing good.
You're still going with the pirate thing, are you?
Yep.
Yeah, he's still got a whole lot of hype for the Pirates. Anyways, though, we'll get into this quite quick. It's going to be a little bit of a short recap this time, as the stages are getting a little bit smaller, and we have seen quite a few decisive stomps in Sunday's matches. So we'll go over that. And first off, we're going to go with Tasha, and he'll be going over the ban stats. So we'll be finding out what was banned most and what was played most. So go ahead and take that away when you are ready, Tasha.
All right, so I'm going to start with the picks here. So the first pick that was picked the most was Swing It, which was a no mod pick. It was picked 7 times during the tournament. As for the second, it is Akatsuki no Suki, which was again a no mod. It was picked 6 times. The third pick was Ha Tenya, which was a double time pick, picked 5 times. And tying that was Chosai Kenbo Senjin, which was a hard rock pick that was also picked 5 times. Those were our most common picks. Everything else was below 5, so we're not going to really go into those. Now, the next one is the bans. So for the bans, we have Helix Edit Version, which was a hard rock pick. It was banned 5 times during the tournament. Following that was V3, which was a hidden pick, banned 5 times. FI, which was a hidden pick, banned 4 times. And Placebo Dying, which was also a hidden pick, and it was banned 3 times. So not much love for the hidden pick in this particular tournament, or for the semifinal map pool here.
Yeah, hidden was very not loved this time around. I think we saw, 3 hidden picks in total. No, 4 or 5, maybe 5.
Well,
and just as a really quick note, one of the bans that was the top 3 bans, FI, that wasn't even picked at all. That was the only map in the entire pool that was not picked. So I feel bad for Charles, because that was a Charles map.
yeah, I was going to say, one of the things that we've kind of seen, and it's kind of a reoccurring case with all the world tournaments, is hidden, while it's always considered to be one of the easier mods to master, it seems like it's generally avoided for all the modes almost. And I think the reason why that is while hidden is easy to master, it does kind of put into that, it puts you in that field where it's very easy to make a mistake, and making mistakes is something you don't want to do in a tournament scene.
I feel like one of the other reasons is the fact that a lot of these hidden picks seem to have lower approach rates, and I don't think that some of these players are comfortable with it. I think they're more used to like AR9, AR10 maps, not these like AR8 stuff.
I mean, just overall in most tournaments, when you have hidden with low approach rate, it's very difficult to read. It just usually causes a lot of issues, and if you misread something, it's going to make you miss, which is why a lot of people don't like it.
And then your whole team is going to be quite salty at you. At least, if it's not match point, they won't be so salty, but they'll be like, we should have banned all those hidden picks. Anyways, though, we'll move on with that. We're going to be going on to our first matches, which were Saturday, May 30th. We'll be going into those. I will go over the first block, and then Deadbeat will go over the next block. Our first match was France versus Taiwan, and this was actually pretty close. It ended up being 4-6 in favor of Taiwan, but let's look over some of the matches real quick. Aside from the warm-ups, the first match that was actually played seems to be, I don't even know the name of that, actually.
Beat an Angel.
Beat an Angel, yeah, I was waiting for it to scroll so I could actually see the name, because it's all cut off because there's so many voice actors. Beat an Angel was actually a pretty decisive win for Taiwan there, but it didn't look that way at first. I mean, it is only a 10 million point difference, and that can be easily swept away in a matter of moments. But they managed to hold their combos a little bit better. Excellent play from Momo Tenchi. Moving forward for the France and Taiwan match, we had another win for Taiwan on Pirate Bay, which was one of Tasha's favorite picks throughout the entire map pool of this stage. And
Silent is the best.
They did actually pretty well there. They won that one by 16 million points. It was unfortunate. It didn't seem that France could keep their combos high enough to actually win there. Momotenchi, yet again, holding the highest combo for Taiwan's team. And then we move on to Hantanya, which was one of my favorite songs. I'm not really big on double time, but Red won this one, which was Taiwan as well, by 35 million points. So it was a very decisive win there. Unfortunately, it just seems that France wasn't able to maintain their combo of a higher sense, and Momotenchi and TK9527, both with very high combos. I do believe Momotenchi actually got a full combo. And we'll move on to Inde. And this was actually won by France. This was the first win they did, starting their turning point here. And they won that by 9 million points. It was a very close match. I lost his, holding a combo of 709. Moving down from that, we also had, I don't know how to say that one, Chosai Kenbo Sengen, I guess is how you'd say it. And
Close
this
enough.
one was won by Taiwan. They pulled this by a very mere 3 million points, so it's a very close match there. Everybody held very high, consistent combos. It just seems to be that, where it dropped was just enough for them to come back. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry, France. No, yeah, Red won that. Getting all backwards there. All right, and then our next pick here was also won by Taiwan, and this was Mezumi. And unfortunately, Kalega S actually failed on this one, which definitely cost them quite a bit of points, but it wouldn't have been too much to matter as they won it by 4 million points, and even if Kalega S's victory did count, it wouldn't have been enough to overtake. All right, then we move down into Atsuki no Tsuki, and this one was won by France by 31 million points. Actually, very high score difference there. And moving on, someone else was won by France as well by not even 100 million points, only 929,000. All right then. And then our match here was Katy Perry's E.T. This was also won by France by 7 million points. And the last match of France versus Taiwan was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Swing It, and this was won for the deciding factor point by 30 million points in favor of Taiwan. All right, and that would actually conclude the recap of the France versus Taiwan match. Sorry that took so long. Maybe try to speed that up with the next one. All right, and we will be moving on to the next one. Deadbeat, you want to go ahead and get that?
Yes, this was actually another one of the really close matches over the weekend. Sadly, it did go in favor of Malaysia. Since I was
that commentator base.
Yeah, I was totally going for the Netherlands in that one because they're looking pretty good. But they didn't go down. They didn't make it easy for Malaysia. I mean, when we had a look at Akatsuki no Suki, there was a huge score pool. Both teams getting over 100 million points each. And in the end, it was actually only a 10 million score difference, which actually isn't that big considering the scores for the team. So it was quite a close match. A lot of the scores weren't actually that bad. There were a few decisive ones, like when we saw Helix for I think the only time there was like a double the score lead for Malaysia. But then as we go further down, we saw maps like Mezume getting played where it was less than 1 million points difference between the two teams. So it definitely was a pretty good match. I really enjoyed that one actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the deciding matches was Hatanya, with Cake and Banana failing. If Cake and Banana hadn't have failed that, I think it would have actually went to tiebreak, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it does seem to be the case actually.
Yeah,
that was really unfortunate.
Yeah, and failing with an accuracy of 97.52, ouch.
And it's really got to hurt because he was the second highest score for their team, and like the score difference was they won by 5 million. Malaysia won by 5 million there, and he had a 6 million score. So if he had actually just passed right at the end there, then it would have been enough to win them that match, and it probably would have brought it the tiebreaker as mentioned.
And then we would have saw that crazy 7-minute tiebreaker.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get to see that at all. It was a bit of a shame, but hey, sometimes tiebreakers don't happen.
That would have been interesting to watch, though.
I feel like it was fate that a tiebreaker didn't happen, because we were kind of we were a little bit taxed for time the entire tournament. The stages were moving a little further than they should have, so if a tiebreaker did happen, that probably would have threw us off quite a bit.
Yeah, that is true, especially since, like, you know, France versus Taiwan, and Netherlands versus Malaysia both had 10 matches. So.
Yeah, it went definitely a lot further than we thought it would go.
I'm hoping that, like, for future tournaments, when we get to the, like, best of 11 type matches, that we get hour and 30-minute blocks, because it takes longer than an hour in most cases, I think.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably going to be what we see moving forward, but of course that's up to the tournament staff as time goes on. But, I mean, it's almost a given that that'll end up happening, especially if it continues to be an issue. If we continue to have to push matches a bit further back, it'll be something that gets changed. All right, is that all you wanted to cover with that match with the Netherlands versus Malaysia?
Yep, so I guess we'll move on to Argentina versus Germany.
All right, I'll go over this really quick here, excluding the warm-ups. It looks like the first match was... Wow. Okay, yeah, I forgot how this one went down.
Yeah.
Acid Burst, unfortunately, everybody on Argentina failed Acid Burst. It went really quick there. And then with the next match, Ende, Germany was just showing domination there. They won by 7 million points. And then with the next one, which was Beaten Angel, it really got a little bit ridiculous as Germany managed to, like, double the score with 39 million. Oh, was Acid Burst a warm-up? Wait, so they have... Oh, yeah, that's right. I apologize. Thank you, Tasha, for catching that. In fact, the reason that we were just talking about a little bit ago, how the matches went a little bit further, I forgot. They were totally allowed to play another warm-up while they were waiting. So that is why that's there. So the first match actually came down to Ende, and that one was won by Germany by 7 million. Then Beaten Angel, they won by the 39 million. Moving forward to Atsuki no Suki, they won yet again by a very dominating 78 million, almost doubling, if not doubling, the score of Argentina's side. Argentina did manage to take a victory, though, on someone else. They managed to win that by just 923,000 points, though. And then when Frame of Mind came in, Germany pulled back, and they won that by 43 million again. And they also won on Hantanya. And even if Emir 1 did not fail, that would not have changed that at all. And then the final match of that block was decided by Germany taking a victory and a very impressive play from Nyan Zappo on Swing It from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He managed to get the full double S combo on that. Very impressive.
He actually got a 300% accuracy throughout that match.
You're right, he did. Nyan Zappo was on fire. Note Kuroi also pulled one on Atsuki no Suki. But that actually concludes the match for Argentina versus Germany, to speed that up a little bit more. And now we'll go ahead and look over the Chile versus the United States match, and we'll have Deadbeat give you guys the lowdown on that one. Or...
Sorry, I was just quickly checking something. We can cut that part. So, yeah, this one actually went in favor of Chile. I was actually expecting this one to be quite a bit closer than it actually was. 6-1 is not really that close, and some of the matches weren't actually that close either.
No, my stomach didn't really like this match that much either.
I bet it didn't. Like,
that wasn't this match, I didn't think. I thought that was the following match.
Was it the following match? It could have very well been.
I'm pretty sure.
Wait, what?
Wasn't it like Chile versus Malaysia or something like that?
It was totally, but nevertheless, I would have been destroyed either which way. We'll get into that.
But either way, like, when you look at some of the scores, like, Akatsuki no Suki again, there was a score difference of 44 million points. And then when you go down to Swing It, 63 million points, nearly 64. There were a few, like, relatively close matches, like Taiko Time, which actually had a score difference of less than 500,000, which is really close, especially in Cage the Beat. But it just seemed like the United States team they couldn't do anything against Chile. Chile was just too strong.
I feel like Line QTXZ just was an absolute carry, and during that match, like when you look at some of like the matches, like he gets like ridiculously high combos on pretty much every song, and like on the matches where his team doesn't do as good, he's still the only one like holding a really good combo. Like Placebo Dying, for example, his team, like Nico had 189 combo, Kelleron had 381 combo. Meanwhile, he's sitting there with 664, getting like massive combo and just kind of making the matches that they would have otherwise lost be winnable.
Yeah, he definitely carried his team.
I feel like I don't want to say it like to say that the United States wasn't prepared for Chile, but I just do believe that nobody expected Chile to perform as well as they did. Definitely the underdogs here, but you really got to look at what they did and how they did it, and it wasn't just a one-time fluke, because I remember during this match, a lot of people were saying, oh, the U.S. just wasn't prepared, rip in peace, U.S., stuff like that from the Twitch chat. Gotta love Twitch chat. But in reality, what had happened is Chile was just on their game. I feel like they knew what they wanted to accomplish. They had the pick set that they wanted to play. They knew where they were going with it, and that's why they just came out so much stronger than the United States was thinking they were going to be, and they managed to take almost a clean sweep off the U.S.
And I just want to say, though, the U.S. won on the most important song. They won on the Pirate Bay, so,
I had a feeling you'd pick up on that one.
Well, of course. I mean, it's Savant. I have to pick up on that.
All right. And then we'll move on to Sunday's matches. And we'll start off with Poland versus South Korea. Now, unfortunately, with Sunday, we actually saw quite a few stomps. And let's kind of just go into this really quick. So we'll see after the warm-ups. The first map that was actually played here was Swing It. And it was a very decisive win for South Korea. And when I say decisive, I mean, dang. They had two double S's from MJ and 224 DJ. And XCon right behind them with a 99.95%, only missing one fruit. And at Suki no Suki, it was a little bit more oh yeah, you're right. DJ is actually missing 2 combo on the page, but it's still crediting him for the 100%, so that might be a little bit of an error. We do apologize if anybody's watching this and reading along to the results and notice that, yeah, sometimes those little things like that happen, but I'm almost positive that if it was something that was going to change the score or the determination, the winner, and say it would definitely be looked over a little bit more. And at Suki no Suki, it wasn't as clear as a decisive win for South Korea there, but they did win that by 2 mil. And
that was a really, really close match, actually.
Yeah, and Chosai Kenbo Sengen, it was kind of decisive for South Korea there. They won it by 20 million. Poland did give up a pretty good fight, but it's just not enough, and the combos just weren't there. Then we moved on to someone else, which was a double time pick, was also won by South Korea. And then we have Beaten Angel, was yet again won by South Korea by 9 million points. And then Frame of Mind, winning again by South Korea by 80,000 points. So that was a pretty clean-cut match.
I just like to point out with Frame of Mind, all of South Korea got 100% accuracy.
Because they were in that right frame of mind.
And there's the pun.
Oh, yeah, we're full of puns still. All right. And then let's look. Now, go ahead, Deadbeat, and tell us about the Indonesia versus China match. Yet again, this is another stomp, guys, but Indonesia did manage to get a point. So go ahead and give them the details on that.
Yeah, I actually thought this one would be quite a bit closer because Indonesia had actually been looking pretty good in some of their earlier matchups, but I guess they just weren't up to the challenge of taking on China. Like, some of these matches are pretty decisive. The closest one I think would have to be Akatsuki no Suki yet again. Both teams getting around 100 million points, but it still was about a 4 million score difference, which actually isn't that bad considering. But a lot of the other matches are pretty decisive. When you look at things like Swing It, 45 million points, Hatenia 22 million points, beat an Angel 69 million points.
Yeah.
I don't think Indonesia had a chance. It just China just steamrolled over them.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Indonesia there, but they did give it their best. It just wasn't enough here. And for all those kind of wondering, definitely kind of figured you'd probably get some more information out of the recap. With what's going on with the Germany versus Taiwan match, we're not really going to go into too much information. It was just at that time that match was deemed to have some sort of foul play going into it. We won't go into what was foul or anything on that because obviously we want to keep that kind of stuff, on the down low. It's not really.
Truth is, commentators actually don't know. We don't. Yeah, we honestly do not know.
Yeah, we weren't told anything, so.
Yeah, we legit don't know. We're just telling you guys what exactly got told to us. It just lost by default for foul play. Will it ever be explained? Maybe, but chances are probably not.
I'd assume not.
I doubt we'll ever know.
Yeah.
The only thing I kind of want to say is I really hope that there wasn't like foul play going on in the previous matches with them because I feel bad for all the teams that might have gotten eliminated if there was foul play going on.
Yeah. That's very true, but unfortunately we don't have the information to that, and if we did, there might be adjustments made, but I think that would have already been brought up by now.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to Malaysia vs Chile, which was ztrot's favorite match of the weekend.
Yeah.
We'll
let Tasha do this one because he really wants to do this one. I love this match. Oh, it was so great.
Yeah, this guy's, you gotta understand, was ztrot's absolute favorite match. So, following the warm-ups here, I believe our first map was Knowing short version, or am I looking at this wrong here? Hold on a moment. Did we have 3 more warm-ups for this one as well?
No, the first one was Swing It.
Yeah, the first map was Swing It, I do believe.
I think you're looking at the quarterfinals.
Yep, you need this one.
Am I? Oh no, I was totally clicking on the wrong link. I'm great at this. Okay, so yeah, the first map was Swing It, guys. I believe for the very first match, we did have a disconnect on the Chilean side. So Malaysia did take, did have a 3 versus 2 there, but they didn't actually end up taking that match from the looks of it. That was a win for Chile with 7.3 million points, despite having it be a 2 versus 3. Following that, there was the next map was Kiseki, which again was a pretty dominating win by Chile at 19.4 million points. Following that, we had the Pirate Bay, which again was another win for the Chilean team with 22.7 million points. Following that, there was a bit more of a closer match. This one was another win for Chile. It was on Placebo Dying, but it was only by 2.7 million, so this one was a lot closer than the previous. Going further than that, we have Chosai Kenbo Senjin, which again was a win for Chile at 18 million. This is about the time where ztrot decided to go make some chili, so he had some fun there.
Oh yeah, the load.
But as he went to go make his chili, the thing that he wanted to have happen this entire time did happen. Malaysia did get their first win of the match. They won their first song on Reversible Doll, which they won by 482,000. So that was their first win, but unfortunately their last, as on Taiko time, there was a disconnect on the Malaysian side, and Chile took it by 5 million points.
Plus, by that time, I had already ate the death chili. I ate it during Taiko time. It was not great.
Yeah, you looked like you were having so much fun. You really did.
It was painful. How could you let me down, Malaysia?
It was painful enough just watching the video.
Yeah, just seeing your eyes water like that. That was crazy. Anyway, I believe we should be getting into the finals map pool.
Yep.
Okay, so, yeah, we have the finals map pool, which is looking pretty interesting, actually. I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be good.
I actually wasn't here for the entirety of the finals map pool, so if either one of you guys want to go over that real quick before we wrap up, that would be awesome.
ztrot.
Yes.
Chipscape. Hard Rock.
Oh no.
Oh yes. And Border of Death.
See, I didn't know Border of Death and Chipscape were there. I got maybe through part of the Nomad pool.
I'm really going to enjoy this. This is going to be good.
Well, I'm going to go quickly over the map pool here. I don't really know a whole lot about the maps because, unfortunately, I'm not the best at CTB, so I can't really describe them very well. But, okay, so for the no-mod picks, we have Reiwai Terrorism, Ouroboros 9236, Hades in the Heaven, KAC 2012 Ultimate Medley, Historia Down Voltex, Korikara no Someday, and A Sight de la Rue.
Alright, two quick things.
Okay.
Two quick things. Haven't we seen that Ultimate Medley as a warm-up before?
I believe we have, yes. When we were watching in, I think, the group stage.
Alright. And the other thing I want to quickly point out is Korikawa no Someday is this week's Love Live map, I guess you could say.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, because you totally you totally need to have one of those.
Yeah, we seem to be getting into a habit of having Love Live every week now. And
thanks, map selectors.
Yeah, thanks for that.
ztrot's like slowly crying in a corner right now. So for our hidden picks, we do actually have a pretty good one here with the Ivan Polka Trance remix, because you know everyone likes the Ivan Polka.
I am so hyped for that.
The next one is actually a really cool song, which is Hall of the Mountain King, followed by Renai Circulation, and lastly we have Tsukimiya Rabbit. Those are our hidden picks.
Interesting to see a tag 2 map. I was not expecting to see a tag 2 map.
Yeah, I had to get that out. I'm sorry. You said Hall of the Mountain King.
It's okay. It's totally a great song, so it makes sense. Anyway, for the Hard Rocks picks, we have Border of Death, Chipscape, Supernova, and Musu Express.
That's gonna be. I'm so hoping we see some Hard Rock. It's gonna be good if we see some Hard Rock.
We'll definitely see Hard Rock.
Yay!
That Chipscape, though, like.
Oh yeah.
Just that's gotta be scary. Thinking that's in the map pool.
I was looking at the map pool when I was at my mate's, and I had this look of utter disbelief on my face, and my friend was so confused, and I showed him the map, and he was just like, "Oh god, this is actually going to happen."
Is it the convert? Is it Sharon's Chipscape? Or is it actual? Oh
it's
dear
Sharon's.
Lord God, no! Please help us all.
It's gonna be good.
All right, and that is our Hard Rock pool. And what is our Double Time pool?
All right, so for Double Time, we have Ido Hakanaki Hikari no Gotoku. We have For My Soul. We have Girls in Wonderland, and finally we have Time Bomb featuring Vila and Boy in a Band.
When you said Time Bomb, I was thinking of that really old map from 2008.
Ugh. I know what you're talking about. That's like a time dud.
If that got put in the World Cup, ultimate troll.
Very much so. All right, and what is our fantastic tiebreaker this map pool?
Now, I just want to mention, everyone was probably assuming that it was going to be Genryu Kaiko, but it actually isn't. Our tiebreaker for the map pool is going to be Onaken's P8107, which I believe was uploaded specifically for the Catch the Beat World Cup.
Well, it was uploaded a month ago, and last updated 5 days ago, I think.
Yeah, it was updated right before we actually did the map pool showcase, because it has a re-download date of the 29th.
Neat.
Our CTB quad is trolling us.
All right, though, guys. That's actually going to conclude the map pool and our recap for today. We hope you guys are excited for the finals. Yeah, go ahead. You can give them the schedule real quick as we're wrapping this up.
Okay, so we actually talked about this a bit earlier with the increased gap in between the maps, the matches, and it looks like that is actually going to happen. So to start us off with, on the Saturday at 11 AM UTC, we will have China versus South Korea. At 1 PM UTC, we will have Indonesia versus Chile, Poland versus Germany at 3 PM. And then the last one is... Okay, so the next one is uncertain. There'll either be one at 5 PM, or that match will be delayed until 11 AM. It depends on who wins between Indonesia versus Chile and Poland versus Germany. On Sunday, though, there will definitely be a match at 1 PM. it'll just depend on if China or South Korea wins.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's confusing to look at.
Yeah, it's definitely something that actually is probably easier to make sense of with looking on the wiki. But yeah, those matches are determined on who wins and who loses due to the way that double elimination works and how the brackets would be set up. But go ahead.
Just wanted to mention really quickly, just for anyone that is curious about the wiki, it should be posted below the video on YouTube. So just take a look down in the description, and you should be able to find a link to the wiki if you do not know how to find it to find the schedule.
Mm-hmm. And it's pasted all over the Twitch too, so if you come to watch, you should definitely be able to find it there as well.
Just one quick thing I will say. Going back to the either 5 p.m. or 11 a.m. match, with the Indonesia versus Chile, if Chile wins, there will be a third match on the Saturday. If Indonesia wins, there will be the second match on the Sunday, and only 2 matches on the Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You should go look at the wiki. It'll all make more sense. Trust me.
Yeah, and that is going to conclude our Catch the Beat World Cup 2015 coverage recap of the semifinals. We're looking forward to seeing you guys at the finals and the grand finals as they become available during the weekends. We'll see you all real soon, and remember, rhythm's only a click away.